Stay on side.
Under 20s football to begin our day. The St George Illawarra Dragons playing host here at Cogra to the Newcastle Knights. It is 3rd versus 10th on the competition ladder. The Dragons are playing semi-final football and have got plenty to play for. Not only position on the ladder, but probably more so continuity, confidence, and a little bit of momentum. Newcastle Knights cannot get there, but have won 3 straight games. Out of dummy half, the captain is Joe Morris. He's in 14, a late inclusion into the starting side in place of Tom Starling. That's him with the football, playing out to the left-hand side through Herbert and Newman. Out the back to Nick Meaney. Taken in a good, strong tackle. Held on a long time defensively. Just got away with it, and Newcastle completing their opening set. They didn't really offer any challenges, but they're going to go set for set and try and wear down this Dragons side, it looks like, Alan Tan.
Yeah, well, a little bit of ball movement there, and it's always interesting to see how the Newcastle, their attitude in their opening few sets here over the past few weeks have really had that tendency to throw the ball around. A lot of second phase play, nothing much to lose, and it's come off for them with 3 wins. So I expect them to really try and throw plenty at the Dragons, ask some questions, and I think both sides will really launch this footy in the air. There's a really strong westerly breeze coming across here at Cogra.
Yeah, it's probably more than a breeze, quite a wind. It's coming from, I guess, the bottom right of screen to top left, so it'll favour the Dragons on that angle over the course of the day. Jack Payne pumps it up, looking for Patrick Herbert. Was taken nicely by Kanoa Gudgeon. He scored a double last week. That victory over South Sydney. Old boys' day up at Newcastle. Strong defence here from the Dragons, and it was Letty Gunga. Also Keelan Tudor-Edwards and the boys back up. This is a strong start from the Dragons. Intent, the buzzword, as the Knights play to their left-hand side and into the hands of Sam Stone. Taken to the ground under the weight of 3 as Morris looks left out of dummy half. He plays to the right-hand side. Just 25 metres out from their line, and that is the end of the set, so a big tick. Pass mark for the Dragons' defence. Kemp takes the ball AFL style. In fact, it was Matheson Johns on this side of the field, the number 2.
Yeah, it was a lovely take, wasn't it? SG Ball star in that Illawarra side that actually won the competition.
Yep.
Fantastic young player. Cooper Purcell as well on the bench gets his opportunity out of that SG Ball side, but a really good start. They met in round 16 as they take on this short side here now. The Newcastle Knights got off to a nice early lead in that game before the Dragons ran them down 36 points to 6. So a good start needed here for the Dragons.
Through the hands of Jay Field, and along with Jack Payne, he'll just look for the big boys, the fringe runners all afternoon. That was Letty Gunga. Dufty plays it short and beautifully, and Paddy Herbert.
Happy.
He opens the try scoring. That is a belter for the Dragons to begin with. And Dufty, who has scored 23 tries this year, 55 in the NYC. We're used to seeing him across the line, but the hands from the inside, just beautiful.
He made it look so easy, didn't he? But it's that speed that just got him into that position to create a 3-on-2, and then he just laid up the easiest and simplest of passes to their captain, Patrick Herbert, on the outside. But look at this, just the speed, just enough to get on the outside and puts a short ball on to Patrick Herbert, who we're used to seeing on the right-hand side of the field. He's had a bit of a positional shift, not his favoured side, but he needs to do it for the current squad at the moment, giving an opportunity for Isaac Thompson on that right. But he shifts to the left-hand side, and what a way to start. Great little ball by Dufty. Herbert gets the first 4-pointer.
I'm a fan of this young fella, as I am many in this Dragons outfit. I said in the pre-game, I think this is a footy side that can seriously challenge over the next couple of weeks. In all likelihood, they'll play the Cowboys in week 1 of the finals, which should be the game of the round.
Yeah, it'll be a huge battle. And just think, though, this Dragons side get the opportunity to get Luciano Leilua back into it too. How damaging he's been on the left-hand side.
Jacob Host is a name I'll toss up to you as well.
What about that? If they get those 2 players back, watch out.
Jay Field. And pushed out to the left-hand side for Jay. 19 this coming week. Scored 12 tries, 69 goals so far this year, and can't add to that try scoring or point scoring tally. There's the try scorer, Patrick Herbert. So early try for the Dragons in a game we're expecting plenty of points. Newcastle with the restart, looking short. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Ziggy, you want to hold on the 40, mate?
The Dragons playing at the football.
The
inside the 10, Isaac Thompson.
okay, boys, so
He just got caught up in the moment, didn't he? Nick Meaney, had a poor little kick-off there. They've done this on a number of occasions, tried the short kick-off, get the ball back, and got nothing to lose. They can't make it into the top 8, but they're trying to disrupt the Dragons' preparations. And that breeze causing a little bit of havoc there, but Isaac Thompson, well, he saw daylight in front of him. He just couldn't help himself.
And just to clarify, the ball has to go 10 metres before anyone touches, attacking or defensive side. And that would have been a Dragons penalty had they just left the ball alone. Would have been a Dragons penalty on halfway.
You can take the scrum, Drew. You got it.
Newcastle got the penalty instead, but then dropped the footy on just tackle 2, tackle 3. Disappointing there for one of a couple of second-generation footballers running around in the NYC. I speak of Zach Hosking.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Hoskins
So
and also
have I.
Stone in the back row. I think when they look back at 2016, they'll be really happy with the improvement from round 1 up until the end of it. They've shown plenty of great development and got plenty left in them as well. So some great signs there for the Newcastle Knights in the future. As we get a one-on-one strip there, no, we don't.
Strip.
One-on-one strip, you call. I thought it was too. The referees disagreed, and it's their opinion that matters only.
Here we go, the contact
Is
here.
there?
The line, yeah.
Oh, he has got a hand on
Yeah,
it.
no, there's 2 in the tackle. Letty Gunga. 21 metres short. Playing out to the left through field and back on the inside, Thompson. Powerful stuff from Big Isaac on that right-hand side with Paora Kemp. Blake Laurie. Great work ethic. Very powerful young fella.
Go, tackle 3.
Out to the right from Robinson. The hands of Torfa. Strip again.
2 in there, gents.
Back-to-back penalties for the home side. Newcastle making it difficult for themselves.
And it's playing into the hands of the Dragons. We talked about that short turnaround. They really need to dominate possession there. If they didn't do that, fatigue will set in. It mightn't be at the start of the game, but it might be at the back end of the halves or back end of the second half, but they're dominating early.
Out to the right-hand side. Thompson over the line. Can't get it down. Good desperation, good defence there, getting numbers around the ball from the Newcastle Knights. Jaden Butterfield, one of the principals there. Look at the size of this monster out in the centres. It was a generation ago, if you're that big, you're a front rower and you will never wear any other jersey. Dufty, that is a one-on-one strip. Disappointing there for the St George Illawarra Dragons. They were given plenty of opportunities, and now Newcastle with an opportunity. Corey Dennis had on his outside the opportunity to flick it out to Matthew Sopalala.
Go, play on, he's on the mark.
Quick tap taken by the Newcastle Knights. You get the feeling it's going to be one of those games.
End-to-end stuff at the moment, but great work by Heath Gibbs. A one-on-one strip there to get that football back. That was a big play.
Massive play. Sam Stone. Back to Morris. To the right-hand side. And good defence here from St George Illawarra. They are very much on their heels. The Knights get into the go zone. Long ball out to the wing. Flings it back in. No other option. Kanoa Gudgeon. And a knock-on rule. They're going to test the Dragons all day. They've got nothing to lose, Newcastle, and that alone suggests they're a dangerous footy side.
Yeah, you can just see with that, the ball movement to the left-hand side, Corey Dennis with the quick tap as well, and then shifting back to the right. Great work to keep that football back inside there, but a little knock on. There comes some desperation in the defence there from the Dragons, but they're not going to die wondering here, the Newcastle Knights. Tommy Starling on the bench for the Newcastle Knights too. I think he's been one of the real late surges in their side, playing some great football. Young guy still at school, but he's provided so much spark for the Knights in and around that ruck. He'll come on no doubt late in this first half and really cause some headaches as well.
Out of dummy half, I'm a massive fan of Reece Robson. Would have been playing against his brother Braden today, who plays for the Knights, but Braden, the lock forward, out with a back injury. Would have been a big day for the family again. Left-hand side, sloppy stuff from the Dragons, and this is not what Matthew Head would have been enjoying as they communicate loudly to this left-hand side, but the kick didn't quite have the depth that the Dragons really needed there to challenge. And maybe that opening try to St George Illawarra has just given them a false sense of security, a false sense of confidence, because they've really taken the foot off the pedal.
Yeah, you can just see a little bit of intensity has just dropped. That was a massive tackle there from Patrick Herbert, because let me tell you, Nick Meaney has got some wheels on him. He's so fast. That was a big play. If he didn't make that, there's 4 points down the other end of the field.
This is now Dennis. Last tackle already for the Newcastle Knights. Nick Newman. Downfield. Taken by Duffy, who has run on the first straight into touch.
I thought I heard the referee saying he's not onside there. He's not. He needs to give him 10 metres, and I think Duffy tried to make the play to draw the penalty. That surely was the only thought process here by Duffy, just running, trying to draw a penalty. And you're right. Sopalola just bundles him straight into touch, as easy as.
Oh, Matt Duffy would love to have that again. The look on the face told the story. Newcastle have all their backs on this open side of the field, so something on. They very simply played an unders ball to Corey Dennis after all that. Trying to strip numbers from the far side. This is Jaden Butterfield, 19 on Monday for the big fella. Right through Herbert, back on the inside, Jermaine Tanua-Brown. Had quite a highlight reel so far this year, a progressive year for Jaden.
Too slow, not
Jermaine.
quick inside 10.
Another penalty. 5 penalties in the opening 13 minutes. 17 is Ryan Glanville. Through Newman. Now to Meaney. Taken down low initially by Isaac Thompson, over the top by Jay Field. That's an easy try for the Newcastle Knights. And concerns for the Dragons. Sam Stone is the scorer. The Dragons had the ball, the field position, repeated opportunities, and were disappointing every single time.
Yeah, they'd be disappointed with that goal line defence. Matt Head, the coach there, he'd be furious. Charging back in, he is a big, strong back rower, big Sam Stone. Another one of those guys that we've spoken about has really improved as the season's gone on. He spun out, but there was enough Dragons defenders there. They should have made that play. But you can put that back to the Matt Duffy catch and run straight into touch on zero tackle there. Thought he was trying to draw a penalty, gets bundled into touch. That gave them the great field position, and Sam Stone, well, he's done the rest.
Yeah, the Lakes United junior. Not a big back row by any means. Tall-ish at about 193 centimetres, but well under the 100-kilo mark. Nick Newman with the opportunity here to put the Knights into the lead after 15 minutes. Starts it right. It stays right. Scoreline remains 4 points to nil. And is that what, 4 points all, should I say, is that what the Dragons almost needed?
Yeah, I think you're right, Andy. I think it might just kick them into gear here and get back into this game. You're right, the intensity just dropped a little there, and then all of a sudden a little error there from Duffy and the field position, and the Newcastle Knights, they're right back into it. But you can just see that breeze, even with that kick for goal there, how much it's playing a bit of havoc here.
Some crazy mistakes from the Dragons thus far. I don't want to take too much away from the Newcastle Knights, who have been good, as Morris, dummy half, plays it to the right-hand side, and Matthew Soper-Lawler coming in to offer some assistance. Now they go back to that side of the field.
Forward to the side.
It's the try scorer, Stone. Corey Dennis, who we have seen in the top grade, a couple of cameo appearances so far this year. No doubt big off-season coming up.
Go, Corey! Corey! I've got the mark, Drew. Go through to 10.
Corey Dennis
Mark here, 4.
going nose to nose with Isaac Thompson there. That's like looking at Godzilla in the eyes.
He's jumped up. There was too much in the tackle, and you can see, ooh, there's a little bit of push and shove there, a bit of feeling out wide with the two big centres. A little bit bigger in the red and white, though.
Great chance for the Knights to go back-to-back here. Crossing the ruck there. Nice football, Hayden Herbert to Nick Newman, but Newman couldn't promote the football on that left-hand side of the field. He had Stone and Dennis there. This is now Glanville to Hosking. Tries to use some footwork before the line and playing into it. Didn't work. Herbert. Out to the 15 in Heath Gibbs, playing for the injured Henry Penn today. Tackle number 4. Halves playing together. Numbers here, if they're good enough, the Knights. But he has taken in a great tackle Thompson on Dennis. Last play now, Newman grubbers through. Taken by Duffy, in goal, a one-on-one strip.
Now, hang on. He's the kick chaser onside.
And Ryan Glanville has scored. Wow.
I don't think I've seen this many attempts at one-on-one strips in one game in particular, and all in this first half, and a couple of them have come off. They've been penalised for one, but what a great kick there from Newman. He bends the ball back as well to keep it in field of play. Duffy, his positional play was fantastic. He just got beaten to the ball there, stripped out of his hands there by Glanville. That was a huge play.
I don't think we've seen as many attempted one-on-one strips in a game of 80 minutes as to what we've seen in 18 minutes so far. And that one, just perfect.
I mean, a lot of the opportunities for the Newcastle Knights can be taken back to some ill discipline, whether it was Duffy on that first occasion, as this attempt is successful, or Isaac Thompson on this occasion. Just too much in the tackle there with Corey Dennis, and it's drawn a penalty, and then all of a sudden some more field position, and with this attitude and style of football that the Newcastle Knights have come to play with, they're making them pay.
Depending on what happens with the Sharks and also the Tigers, the Dragons can head very much into the bottom half of the top 8 and only get one shot at progressing, and not the 2 chances that you do get by finishing in the top 4 position.
And it could be very interesting to see where they play, because they need to follow the NRL.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. They could come 5th, but might have to travel to, say, Canberra to play 8th place. So there's a lot of variances here. So it is crucial, this game, for the Dragons.
More so in under-20 football, a top 4 finish is probably more crucial, because you don't necessarily play at home and have that advantage. that the NRL sides do get. Knights over halfway. Last tackle here. Sun popping its head through. Here in the St George area. Allowing it to bounce. Oh, Dufty! He got bashed and has got plenty to say. Sopalola, along with Nick Newman, have come in and given Matt Dufty an absolute shoulderful.
And you can just see him in the background there too. He's still struggling. Look at this. Soon as he catches that football, Sopalola absolutely creases him. He gets up to play the football. He's a little bit ginger in back play, but that was a huge shot.
And legal. You can't tackle a player in the air going for a kick, but something like that you can. And little Matty Sopalola, he sorted out Matt Dufty for the time. Chance for the Dragons now. They scored the first try. They've conceded the next two. And some pretty average signs for the famous Red V. They'll come good, I have no doubt. A little bit of this stuff. The meters, the hard meters, through the middle, settling things down. Blake Laurie starts this set. 4 in the tackle there. Good run from Keelan Tudor-Edwards, out through Jack Payne. My man TJ Ueli, good run, good meters to Jack Payne. Oh, Jai Field on the last, and that was quite a collision with Corey Dennis.
Yeah, both players actually come up reeling from that tackle. It actually created numbers. Corey Dennis, you can see just limping away there. They created numbers to that right-hand side. He needed to come up with a big defensive play. He did. He shut it down. They both collided, both trying to take their positions back in the side, but they chanced their arm on last play. It didn't come off.
Keep in mind, a win behind the Dragons. Here go the Knights. And some desperation there from St George Illawarra stopped Ryan Glanville. But Newcastle not finished just yet. 2 tries to 1, 10 points to 4 they lead. Played by Meaney. Through Morris. Now Herbert. Newman. Stone already has 1 try. Flicks it back to his 5'8", who then goes wide to Sopalola. Another young man that's had a fabulous year. In that left wing. Jaden Butterfield. Last tackle for Newcastle. Points or pressure? They look to apply the pressure. Matt Dufty not letting this ball go. Had a real grip on that in his in goal and forced his way back 5 or 6 metres out from his line.
Yeah, and my man Tommy Starling, the number 9, has just come on. He got put back onto the bench, but a perfect time to inject him into, just with a lot of possession at the moment. And the Dragons, you can just see their body language just dipping away a touch at the moment. So great little opportunity to bring in this young kid.
Yeah, look at the possession. That has swung big time. 60% of the ball has been in the hands of the Newcastle Knights. And pretty much because the Dragons have been poor in terms of holding onto the football. Downfield. Good kick from Payne. I'd like to see this young fella in a little bit of open space at some stage. He's a very exciting footballer, Nick Meaney. Playing out to this right-hand side, Kanoa Gudgeon. He was partnered there with the 15 in Heath Gibbs, who's playing at right centre, as I said earlier, in place of Henry Penn. Just short of halfway. Back on the inside, they played at Butterfield. Another good opening stint for Jaden. 9 tackles, 8 hit-ups. He's been very busy. Loving what Newcastle are doing. Here is Starling tackled, and that is the final play. He was hoping to link up with Sopalola.
Yours, mate. Yeah.
Sorry, Joe Morris it was.
Yeah, he took them on down that short side. There was some space, and I think that's the right side for them to go to. That's their left-hand side, the Dragons' right side. I think Isaac Thompson, he's a big lump of a lad, but he's just getting found out of position there on a number of occasions, and laterally, he's just got some deficiencies there in his defence as well. So the Newcastle Knights, it's the right area to attack, but just didn't come off on that occasion. Great run here, though, by Robson.
Yeah, Reece Robson, that was very nice work. Through Payne. Out to Patrick Herbert, the try scorer. Tries and has a look at flicking it back on the inside to Peora Kemp. But out he goes, and it's a Newcastle scrum feed, ultimately possession. Once again, the Dragons don't get to the end of their set.
Yeah, they've gone, 70-odd metres down the end of the field there and bundled in a touch. It's only play 3. They've got a couple more up their sleeve. Just this little bit of ill-discipline and lack of structure at the back end of sets is really, really hurting them. And this is the momentum that you'd like to build going into finals football. They just haven't found it just yet today.
Isaac Thompson playing right centre is normally a left, and as a result, Patrick Herbert has been asked to switch sides of the field. Now, going back a generation, that wasn't an issue. We saw the right-handed carry there and inability to get the ball back on the inside. Well, when you're used to playing on one side of the field, that's what happens. Sopalola. Dufty in front of him, and Dufty brings him down. A good one-on-one battle between those two in the opening 26 minutes. As the Knights get a real roll on here. Zach Hosking taken to the ground by 3. The Dragons desperate to slow him down. Hosking back to Starling. On to Newman. Last tackle, Morris to Herbert. Up it goes, and beautifully taken by Kemp. Matheson Johns, the young boy from south of here, down on the Illawarra, played with MSG ball this year, took that beautiful catch earlier.
Yeah, it was another great take out in the hands in that first time, and this time he leaps above the pack. A great show of confidence. I just wonder with Coach Matthew Head, if he persists with Isaac Thompson in that right side centre position, with the Newcastle Knights finding so much space there, he's getting really caught out, whether they go back and swap sides and get Patrick Herbert, the captain, in his favoured position.
Up it goes. Awkward bounce here for Newcastle. Here come the Dragons. Great tackle. Also great work with the football from Meaney, because that was a horror bounce.
You can see the wind just taking the ball away from Nick Meaney, and he shows that speed once again to get away from Herbert, but Jack Payne comes and makes a beautiful legs tackle.
There is a giant black bag.
I think it's a garbage bin.
A garbage bag. I thought it was a body bag initially. It's blown onto the field. Downtown go the Knights. Dufty's had a busy day. There's the bag. Hopefully there's no one inside. They're being worn out here, the Dragons. 60-40 possession split in favour of the Knights. As we get close to half an hour of footy. And apart from some real brilliance earlier and a great try to Patrick Herbert, they haven't shown us, sadly, a great deal. Here is Torfa. Limited opportunities for Toppy. Right-hand side. More conservative set from the Dragons. Probably what they need as they go to the left boot of Jack Payne. It's up for Gudgeon. Taken by the Dragons. Oh, yes! Magnificent! Jay Field on the end of some Red V magic. A hint of luck as well. How do you explain that to someone that's not watching? The answer is you couldn't. They wouldn't believe you.
Well, you spoke about that conservative set. They just got into a reasonable field position. They launched the ball, used the breeze. Their skipper, Patrick Herbert, races through. Remarkable catch. Somehow gets the football away. And Jay Field, like all good halves, backing up through the centre. He finds himself in some space. What about this? The old Hail Mary up and over the shoulder. The tap forward to control the football and beside the post. That is a remarkable try.
Look at this from Herbert. Off balance, under pressure, tosses a ball up that Paul Hoff would have had to jump for. And poor little Jay Field, he's not the size of Paul Hoff, he's more Alan Langer. He launched into the air, stuck out his right mitten. Somehow he managed to take control of the football, all the while missing out just on running headfirst into the goalposts. We talk about pivotal moments in the game. We may well look back on that at the half-hour mark and say that's what changed it. 192 points now for Jay Field for this season. Jesse Arthur's leading the competition with 218 for Melbourne. What is a massive Super Saturday. The Dragons and the Knights, the Cowboys and the Titans, and the Storm and the Sharks for the minor premiership. That is what is on your NRL menu this evening.
Some super games coming up. Also, the Intra-Super Premiership after this. Week 1 of finals. And then also, remembering Benny Cray, it's his final home game. He won't be playing today, but 270-odd games for the Red V. And New South Wales and Australia, one of the great guys in our game. An opportunity for the favourites and the fans and supporters to say goodbye to one of their favourite sons.
In our comprehensive pre-game preview, and have a chat to Benny Cray and also Jeremy Smith on his last game at a club where he won a premiership.
Good.
Back to Field, to the air. Soper Lawler.
No touch.
Lets it bounce.
20. I'll take 30.
No touch.
You go to 30, Drew.
Back to the 20 they come, and Jay not happy with it.
In that mark.
10 all.
On his whistle.
And just with the look of that kick and the breeze that is behind us, that will aid Newcastle Knights coming home in that second half. So that will certainly help their cause. So the Dragons, they get a good one here. A little error in the play of the ball from the Newcastle Knights. They need to make the most of here and now. 8 minutes to go, just under before half-time.
Been impressed with Newcastle's application. Yeah, and he's lost it there, and he doesn't deserve that. The little left winger, Matthew Soper Lawler.
Tries to his name this year as well.
Midfield scrum, chance on the right-hand side. The Dragons in attack had stacked this side of the field. The other side was wide open, though, with just one. Newcastle defender, good offload, good try. The Dragons are in through Cooper Purcell. We look at that half-hour mark. We look back on the previous try, and a little bit of luck and some magic execution. Things have now certainly turned in favour of the home side.
Yeah, well, it was 2 to Edwards, left-hand offload back on the inside to Cooper Purcell. Well, the Dragons, they lead the competition in try assist on that left-hand side. This is their go-to side. It's usually Luciano Leilua. This time it's 2 to Edwards. Great support play back on the inside as well. He's just come off the bench. One of the SG Ball stars for the Illawarra side as well. First Holden Cup try. What a great way to get his side in front.
Yeah, well done, young fella. What a proud day and a proud memory that is for not only Cooper, but the family as well. You should be proud. First NYC try as a young career progresses. Now, Field here should have, in theory, the wind right behind him for this kick.
Yeah, he almost started that ball too far to the left-hand side on his first kick, and it tried to fade back, so he'll no doubt take that into account. An important little kick for him too, just to extend that lead a little, as we spoke about. Newcastle Knights will have that at their backs in that second half. Take as many points as you can into that half-time break.
We're expecting some points in this one. The Dragons, we thought would be the better side, but Newcastle, we knew would throw the football around with nothing to lose.
There's that breeze just as playing the footy off the kicking tee there. I thought there were some concerns when I was watching their warm-up. There wasn't the intensity in the Newcastle Knights warm-up that I've seen throughout the year, and I was worried about that, but they've turned it around. They've got that opening couple of tries there with Stone and Glanville, and it sort of has really kicked them into gear.
Right it with him, Jay Field. Starts this one left, it stays left. 14 points to 10 is the scoreline, 3 tries to 2 in favour of the St George Illawarra Dragons. 14 wins, 1 draw, 8 losses throughout their campaign. Glad the weather's tidied itself up in Sydney after the last 24 hours. Oh, another short one from the Knights. Another win for the Knights. And surely that's a knock-on.
Up square! Let him go!
You could hear the refs communicating there, saying, I've got a knock-on, I've got a knock-on, but allowed to play. This is big Geordie Pinnock.
Yeah, Blake Laurie, he scooted out there and put a good shot on. Rattled the ball free. No knock-on, though.
Oh, little intercept there. And the Dragons survived. Jack Payne had to have a couple of grabs at it, but did extremely well because the Knights were looking dangerous.
Yeah, it was. They created a half opportunity. The pass just didn't hit the mark, but Jack Payne on the spot again. It was a try-saving tackle on Meaney moments before, I thought, which was fantastic. And this time, a neat pair of hands to pluck that ball out of the air.
Penalty on the 16. Yes, strip.
Strip there. Big Cameron King. He is penalised. I'm
I'll take it.
going to be very interested to see what type of crowd they get in at home base here for the Dragons today. They are a loyal but a very vocal fan base. They love their Dragons, but if things aren't successful and aren't going right, they will voice their opinion, which they have every right to do, and they're not a happy camp.
Last game for Benji Marshall too in the Red V.
Dylan Tudor-Edwards pirouetting a couple of times there, changed his mind 3 or 4 times about where he wanted to go and how he wanted to do it. This is Robson pushing closer, Purcell into dummy half, playing out the back to Payne, and Duffy steps a couple, heads back infield and across field, and is going to get pinged here for an old school Shepherd. Simply ran behind. Matt Duffy knew it at the time. Had he just dropped and surrendered, it would have been play on.
Yeah, I know he's taken a little bit of advantage there. Does he really deny King the opportunity to get involved? Look.
Well, King actually fell off the tackle.
Yeah.
Whether it was because there was a player there or it was Duffy's speed is irrelevant.
I've got a real missed opportunity with a couple of minutes to go to half-time, and that penalty getting into that great attacking position. They've missed a big opportunity.
If they miss those opportunities like they have repeatedly today over the next 4 weeks, it will be a disappointing finals campaign. Holden Cup finals live and uninterrupted on Fox Sports over the course of the next 4 weeks. Some genuine superstars. Some wonderful games of football. We hope you can join us for the journey right up until grand final day. The stars of tomorrow today. just over a minute remaining in this opening half. 3 tries to 2, 14 points to 10. Massive opportunity here for the Dragons to extend a lead. Commentary from the field.
Yeah, Duffy, I think, wanted that ball out the back there by the sound of things. They had some space there too, but here we go. This is a strong challenge.
TJ. Good run from Ueli. Purcell a dummy half. Here is Blake Laurie. Always attracts more than one. To the right-hand side, and Thompson pushes off Dennis. Tries to throw off Stone, and look at it, there's 4 of them there, and only now they get into the ground. 2 plays left, 20 seconds left. Ball on the inside, and knock-on is called. They had one last shot at it, and a knock-on ruled here. The ball, a beauty. Jack Payne just couldn't control. In fact, the ball was probably too good. The Knights survive a late onslaught from the Dragons. There is the siren. That is half-time. After 40 minutes of the Holden Cup, it's the St George Illawarra Dragons 14, the Newcastle Knights 10.
Make sure you stay behind.
Underway, a short kickoff again. And for the first time, the Dragons come away with the ball legally.
Yeah, Cooper Purcell, that man who scored that crucial try just before half-time. He leapt above the pack there to get it. That's great work there from the young guy, Cooper Purcell.
Strong shot on young Reece Robson there, young representative star. Playing to the centre of the field. You talk about commitment and intent. Blake Laurie showing plenty of it, bulldozing his way through the middle. Here is Dufty. Very light on his feet. A great acceleration. Last play for the Dragons. Through Payne, across the field. Numbers. It's still the 5th. Looking to pop his head through. He did. The body wouldn't follow.
Yeah, in case he gets driven back.
It is
Change
Jay
over here,
Field.
guys. Nice ball.
He is brought down 1.5 metres from the line. No points, but the ideal turnover position for the Dragons at the end of the opening set of this second half.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I have no doubt at half-time, Matty Head would have given them a real razzling. That's not up to their standard, the standard that they've set them for themselves right throughout this season. A good start needed in this second half. In the opening moments was crucial. They've done that. Great opening set.
Great opening set, just brought undone, completely undone. Ill discipline on the ground. Concerned with an injury here to Matheson Johns. Not sure if it's a hammy or a knee injury to the Dragons' right winger, but it appears that Isaac Thompson has been forced to move out onto the right wing for the Dragons. And into the centres, Keelan Tudor-Edwards as the ball is turned over for the Red V. Once again, Blake Laurie in the middle of things.
You think that's where the Newcastle Knights will start to throw a lot of their attack down their left-hand side to try and catch out Thompson, and also Tudor-Edwards, the back row, playing in that centre position.
Physically, they are a much bigger side, the St George Illawarra Dragons. And if they just continue to play a somewhat conservative nature, midfield, power game, I think they get over the Knights and do it comfortably, but it has been anything but for the Dragons. Dufty again tries to step back on the inside. Hosking was well aware of it. He beat the initial tackle of Herbert. TJ Ueli. Not that tall, but plenty wide. Very difficult to bring down. Oh, and he's short. He deserved points there, the big fella. What a run. Through the hands of Dufty. Oh, I thought that may well have been a knock-on from the Newcastle Knights. I think the St George Illawarra Dragons actually thought that as well.
Some good defence, though. Some
Yeah,
desperation.
great goal line defence.
On their try line. Numbers in tackles, racing up to cut the pass off at the back end there. They've forced a bit of an error. Great defensive set.
That's two great opportunities in terms of field position alone. The Dragons have not been able to capitalise on and score points through in this opening 3.5 minutes of the second half. Reiterate, as we said in the first half, finals football, you just can't do that. Knock on here from the Knights. It was Stone on this left-hand side. Last play, he got the ball before he realised it was the last. He wasn't the man they needed to go to.
Yeah, and I've given a huge rap to Tommy Starling, the number 9, who started on the bench. He's been a real spark for the Knights in the back half of this season. He's created plenty, but that choice going down the short side and giving it on to Stone was one which you'd like to have over again. That was disappointing into the set.
Thompson beats the second and a third. Actually, that was almost unfair. Oh, he's a big unit, lifted in the tackle. It looked a little dangerous for a moment. Hard and straight, and again, it's that man, Laurie. Left-hand side, they've got numbers here, the Dragons, if they're good enough. Dufty with $1 million ball, and Kemp has scored a cracker. Second try assist for Matt Dufty. And I'll repeat almost word for word what I said earlier. We've seen him score so many. But setting them up, he is an expert at it.
This is a great finish too. He gets airborne. We're not far from the airport here, and he certainly takes off. Here, Kemp on the outside. Great ball by Dufty. He had so much work to do. That is magic. Sometimes we take it for granted, don't we? Because we see the modern day wingers do it so often, but that is just fantastic.
Just superb. 16 for the season, 17 for a career that started late last year. A goal kicker of note too, the young fella.
And when they get that balance right, the Dragons, they're so dangerous, didn't they? Laurie going for Isaac Thompson, some big, strong charges, getting that momentum, earning the right to play some football. Once they get that balance right, they are so hard to handle, and they create so much more options for themselves on that both sides of the field, but in particular on this left-hand side. Dufty chimes in, Peora Kemp found some space. He had plenty of work to do, but it was on the back of that really good go forward. That great setup, magical finish, great set all round.
This could finish 15 metres short, this goal kick, when the wind gets it. It hasn't, but he started left, it stayed left. Again, little habit forming here. But right to the teeth of this breeze, you would have to give it an almighty belt from that side of the field. 18 points to 10. 7 minutes into this second half. So not quite out by 2 converted tries. But a good lead. Another short kick off from the Knights. It's the second one that's failed to go the 10, but the first time the Dragons have got the penalty. Risk versus reward. And you have to weigh it up. It's lovely, I guess, being a little different, throwing some variation into your kickoffs, but that's the 4th short kickoff of the day.
And they have persisted with this for pretty much the last month of their football.
Yeah.
We commentated on playing the Panthers up there, and the Panthers were high-flying, and they completely changed their game up. It was the short kicking, it was the shifting of the football one side of the field to the other, offloading at will, and it's come up trumps for them so far. So they're sticking to that thought process.
Matty Jerd. Purcell into dummy half. Left as the go. Oh, hit there hard. Hosking, great tackle on Jack Payne. Robson. Still going and backing his way to the line under the weight of a good Cameron King and Zach Hosking tackle. To the right-hand side. Field. Still going. Still going. Numbers here. And denied the Dragons.
Change over, that's it.
Oh, that's the final play too.
Let's wait there, we've got time.
No starts.
You ready, Drew?
Okay,
Maybe a
Kevin.
kick at some
Play the
stage
ball.
would have been ideal. I guess it's difficult to kick forward when you're travelling across the field. There's some strong defence. Maybe the Dragons happy to back their D, as they term it. Two solid contacts to open this set.
Hold left, go.
Jerd really using the chest and the shoulder well. Run here from King.
Holding here.
No markers. 8.
Trying to do his thing from dummy half.
Up now.
Tommy Starling.
Hold and go. 4. 10's okay.
10 was okay. Laurie at dummy half. Back to Starling.
Inside. Through.
Inside the 40. No chance of a 40-20, and he had a nervous moment or two there, did Kemp, on that left wing for the Dragons, but decided it was too risky to make a play out. Happily let it go across the touchline, and just slowing and settling things down here for both sides. It's been a reasonably frantic start to this second half.
Yeah, but I like that mentality from the Dragons, really putting the pressure on the opposition. They know they didn't get to a kick at the back end. They would have loved to have found that, but turned the ball over in some good field position and backed themselves defensively. A really strong set. They're starting in good field position now. I think that's a really good thought process for them.
Just over halfway here for the Dragons. Purcell once again at dummy half.
Good now.
Jordan Laurie, very underrated as front rowers in this 20s competition. When they're switched on, they lay the platform for this talented football side to do their thing. Here's Blake once again. Pops it out the back. Still tackle number 4. Good ball out to this right wing, but it's not a right winger. It's big Keelan Tudor-Edwards, due to injury, is playing out on the right wing. There's a lot of sideways stuff still from the Dragons. Last play now. The go-to may well be Reece Robson. No, they bypass him. Go to Jack Payne. He goes to the air. One-on-one strip, and Kemper's there.
Let him go, we got here.
They did it to Dufty and the Dragons earlier in a one-on-one strip for a try. And Peora Kemp, his second in quick time. And the Dragons extend their lead to a dozen.
And it was a nice crossfield kick from Jack Payne. He needed to be well weighted with the breeze swirling around. It's a tough kick to pinpoint. He did that. Peora Kemp, he leapt above the pack. Got the ball there out of the hands. That was a great piece of play. Smart thinking. Does enough work with 3 desperate Newcastle Knights defenders trying to hold him up. Nice play, Peora Kemp.
Folder is proudly sponsored by Paul Customs and Forwarding Solutions. St George Illawarra Dragons 22 leading Newcastle Knights 10.
His goal kicking percentages are going to battle if Kemp keeps scoring on that left-hand side of the field. 1 from 4, Jay Field today. Better day for Jay in the fact, despite his name is spelt J-A-I, it is actually Jay. We went with Jai earlier in the year. So the family will be delighted we've got your little baby boy's name right. And here he is. Out 8 metres in from touch. Everything's been left. This is nice. Not nice enough, or I'm cross-eyed. One of the two. That'll look perfect. Oh, time to get the glasses on.
Just shows once again that breeze and how much trouble it is. You can see Peora Kemp there. Great finishing out wide. Fantastic piece of play.
Yeah, there's the breeze here. What a huge Sunday ticket we have for you tomorrow. 4 games back to back to back to back. 3 of them NRL. The Tigers and the Raiders from Leichhardt. The Warriors and the Eels from Auckland. And from Penrith, the Panthers and the Seagulls. What a day of football. So enticing to spend a day at the local or on the lounge. I might actually call in Crook tomorrow and sit there as a spectator. That is a hell of a day of football. Matty Jerd. 5 tries to 2. Dragons in control. Purcell. Last tackle now for St George Illawarra. Wide goes Robson. Up to the air goes Payne. Taken nicely by Gudgeon. Under the weight of Kemp and also Herbert.
I know we give a lot of raps to Dufty and Herbert out wide, and Isaac Thompson's done some great things, but the big front rower in Blake Laurie, he leads the tackles, 25 from both sides, and also the hit-ups as well with 14. He's having a huge game, and as we spoke about before, when they do get that system of play like they do, go forward first, much, much better.
Saw the figures on screen there, the second half possession. All the Dragons. The scoreboard illustrates just that. Taken on the full by Kemp and very comfortably. The chase probably not what the Knights wanted, nor their coach Todd Lowry. It lacked any real speed. As a result, the Dragons are starting this set just on the halfway line. Robson, who's gone from dummy half into a running forward role with the inclusion of this man, the 14, Purcell. Play number 4 to the right-hand side and field. Torfa. He's had limited chances today, Big Toppy. Once again, they go to their halfback. Now out to Matt Dufty. Dufty accelerates through the line, spins it back. Ball is still alive. This is beautiful from the Dragons. And Kemp collects a genuine hat-trick.
And it's a hat-trick for number 5, Colin Kemp.
Oh, we spoke to Todd Lowry, the Newcastle coach, on camera prior to the game. And we asked, what concerns you about the Dragons? He said, their individual brilliance and their ability to score amazing individual tries. There is your example.
It's almost something out of absolutely nothing. A simple play to that left-hand side. He puts the foot down there. Dufty gets the ball out the back. Gallagher had some work to do. He got a nice ball out to Herbert. And Kemp, well, he goes over for number 3. That was probably the easiest one of his morning so far, but 3 tries all in this second half. But great piece of play there from the Dragons. This is what they can do when they get it right.
Word coming through from the legends at the Fox Sports Lab. 4 doubles in his career, Paora Kemp. That's his first hat-trick. Well done.
Almost the way he plays the game. He reminds me a bit of a Sean Kenny Dowell type player as well. He's probably not quite as tall, but the way he's got some footwork and he's awkward to tackle and he can get an offload away, and a fantastic finisher out wide.
Straight. And then short and away to the left by some margin. Poor old Jay Field. He's kicked 1 from 6. Most of them have been from a nightmare angle and into the breeze. And he's got a little message for our man Paora. Run around as many metres as you possibly can. Make my life just a little easier. We saw the long kick-off last time from the Knights. Medium kick-off, I guess, this time. They let it hang up, and a drop ball from the Dragons. Jay Field in a one-on-one strip lost control of the footy, and this is the first time in a while that the visiting Knights going to get a chance with the ball.
Yeah, we saw that possession stat and how much it's favoured the Dragons. And for and against is so important on a number of fronts, but in particular the one against the Cowboys. They've got to be a bit of a differential there to see how high they finish. Will come a little bit later, but you can see in their own half there, the Newcastle Knights have spent the majority pegged down in their own end.
I don't think the Knights are out of this, despite the scoreline at 26 points to 10. Still a lot of football left to get played, and they've been genuinely starved of it for, I guess, the last 18 and a bit minutes. Butterfield playing it on. They've got numbers here, Newcastle, if they're good enough, but Corey Dennis attracts the attention of 4. That was really good sliding defence from the Dragons. Newman to Butterfield again. He wasn't expecting the football, the front rower, but it was delivered onto his chest, and he charged forward for a gain of 4 or 5. Laying out the back to Hosking, who is brought down. Great tackle. Little kick through, a 2-on-1 strip, as they have tried all afternoon. The Newcastle Knights, and again, they are penalised.
Yeah, Tommy Starling and also Zach Hoskins in the tackle there. Just trying to get that football back. He couldn't thread the needle through Starling. The ball bounces up. He was in an onside position. And the referee's right on the spot.
Let off there for the Dragons on the hour mark here on Super Saturday. Immediately following this game, week 1 of the Intrust Super Premiership finals race. Live here at Cogra, then the first of 3 NRL games where you won't miss a try, a tackle, a moment, or any of the magic. Massive day. We will determine the minor premiers when the Storm and the Sharks meet. 7:30 from Amy Park, south of the border. Payne. Easier kick for Gudgeon.
20 metre.
Argument here between Kanoa Gudgeon and also Poira Kemp. Kemp saying he had 1 foot still in the field of play. The ref said, yeah, but he also had 1 foot in goal. Now get out to the 20 and play on. Soper Lawler on tackle 1 in this 7-tackle set. Travelling across field was Starling. Numbers here again as Meany works his way into the back line and had 2 touches in that run up to the 40. Now back to Tanua Brown. Good offload, finds the 5'8". The offload's more effective when there's bodies in motion around the football, when you're finding stationary targets. Makes it difficult for the receiver, and that's been the case here. A narrow short side. They opt to the long side. Short ball from Starling, who now comes back to the left. Flicks it back. They got the numbers here. They got the talent to get to the line. The ball free and into touch. I have a feeling the ball may have been forward anyway. And the Dragons' online defence holding. Maybe not convincing, but holding.
And this is what the Newcastle Knights are going to do. They've got 20 minutes left in their season. You can see already the amount of offloads that have just come in that set and right towards the back end of the play there. Not looking for a kick, looking just to keep that football alive. And I think you're right, Andy. I think it was forward anyway.
Yep.
But an opportunity. This is a big set for the Dragons here. The Newcastle Knights, they're not far out of it. They can get some points here now. It's still anybody's game.
Tudor Edwards putting his hand up to do the tough stuff. He does it very well on this right fringe. 8 or 9 metres, almost piggybacking a couple of opponents downfield. Great there from Thompson. Also got the offload. Yeah, big, powerful thing, the number 4. Got it back to Robson, who milked that with Soper Lawler for all he possibly could.
He's been great too, hasn't he, Robson? He's played a lot at 13. He started in the hooking position. He made 154 metres last week. So great versatility to be able to play a couple of positions, and so strong carrying it as a lock forward as well.
Yeah, good little footballer. Good footballing family.
Mate, I've got to push. I've got to push.
No. You ball plant. Ball plant. I'll pack it through. Go 10. Go
Okay.
10.
Good discussion there amongst the refs, and well done for coming to the conclusion.
You've got the onus to stand with the ball.
Okay, we'll let you be the judge. Is there a push, a kick, or... Yeah, there is a little bit of a push, but ball on the ground and levering up using the ball was the reason that wasn't awarded a penalty.
Yeah, play the ball neat. You need to get to your feet first. You can't use that football to leverage off the ground, but you're right, you have seen a lot of those be given a penalty to the attacking team, not on this occasion.
I like the discussion / debate between the refs there. I've got a push. No.
Hold square. Wait, go.
Newcastle heading towards the 40-metre line. Eddie Tuilota-Lava is on the field in 18. And busy defensively. He's had a couple of touches of the footy in the last set. And here is Meany. 2-on-1. Soper Lawler kicks it back infield. Odd bounce and knock on.
Knock on off the 12.
Just couldn't stick there. Stone. That's what the referees have deemed the knock-on came from his hands.
The exciting new range of X-ray
Very talented with the left boot there.
He summed it up perfectly too, Soper Lawler. He knew that on the inside it was covered. Dufty and also Payne, I think it was, the man who was coming across in cover defence. There was some space back infield. He got the boot to the ball. Sam Stone just couldn't come up with it on that occasion.
15 minutes remaining. This Holden Cup game, 3rd versus 10th on the ladder coming into the game. Probably hasn't quite gone to script, although the scoreline may suggest it has. Oh, another great run from big Blake Laurie. Stewie Mason. It's him in 23, included onto the bench in the place of Jacob Essau. Kemp flicks it back on the inside. It's now into the hands of the Knights and Meany. Oh, it looked dangerous on that left-hand side for St George Illawarra.
Right, Andy, I don't think the Dragons, even if they get away with this win, I don't think they'd be overly impressed by it. It is a short little turnaround as Soper Lawler gets some space down this left-hand side. Great tackle there by Thompson, cover defence.
Big tackle from Thompson, reaches out and grabs Dennis. That is desperation at its finest.
Penalty, Drew. Penalty, Drew.
What on earth has happened here?
Taking the player out.
Wait there.
Isaac Thompson, was it me? Of course it was you.
Of course it was you.
You can't be missed. You're 107 kilos.
Yeah, playing on the wing.
Here we are.
Oh, that is gold. I don't know if Isaac saw him coming. He just...
Swatted him away.
He swatted him away.
Here we are. Hold.
Oh, it was like a move from the WWE. The exaggerated fall and tumble.
Together, Dragons.
Give us a moment, folks. Next break in play. I promise we'll have another look at it for comic value. Knights on the attack, and a penalty here for Newcastle. Inside the 10, TJ Ueli.
Strip.
So on the deck there, Toppy Torfa.
Inside 10. Go.
Jaden Butterfield. Another really good performance from Jaden.
Go.
Sam Stone. Oh,
Yeah, that's what I've got too. Yeah.
Knock on Dragons.
Knock on Dragons.
Looking onto his outside there, Meaney. He saw a couple of familiar faces, but the ball wasn't a clean one. Here is the hit. Okay, Thompson has made this first one. Here comes Sopalola. Oh, it's a mismatch, isn't it? He's just appeared from nowhere. Matthew Sopalola.
It's just a natural reaction, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Just drop the shoulder and push him away.
Good ball movement from Newcastle. Like a rare day today for Matty Sopalola, and the fact that he hasn't got a try, because we've seen him score some absolute gems this afternoon. He'll fancy his chances with his speed advantage over Thompson. Here is Stone, already one try, over the line and held up.
I tell you, they're lucky there. They needed this little break in play. They're short to their right-hand side, the Dragons.
Yeah.
Thompson was way in field. They still might go here now.
To Dennis. He's dropped the ball, Corey Dennis. Sopalola's been beaten here. Duffy, now past his third. This is where Matt Duffy is at his most dangerous, this broken field scenario, and his metres from the backfield. There is just a perfect example. 28 metres that he really shouldn't have made.
And beat 5 or 6 players there as well. Great piece of play to get him into some good field position, and all of a sudden you can feel that momentum shift straight away into the Dragons' favour.
Gee, speaking of Matthew Sopalola up against Big Isaac Thompson, I'm a little surprised that the Knights haven't backed their speedy winger. Just in a foot race over Thompson. Maybe a little more in this second half, because I've got no doubt a speedster like Sopalola will win that battle. Here is Thompson. There's 3 of them there.
Against Corey Dennis.
On the marks there, mate. 20 metres out.
But a penalty against Corey Dennis, the 17th penalty for the game. In right on 70 minutes. 10 to go. 16 points the difference. Laurie. Oh, horrible play, the ball.
He was penalised.
Yeah.
Against him only moments before.
Fine line, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
He backs up, Big Blake, and then backs into them. 18 hit-ups, 30 tackles. They are massive numbers. And that is so easy. Toppy Torfa. He is the try scorer. Oop.
Penalties here.
No.
Too close, guys. No, not a quick one, mate.
Run around and obstruction.
Just one.
Just looking.
Yep.
Well, there's just some slight contact, but we've seen that regularly.
Yeah.
The referees, they got that one right. Matthew Head in the coach's box beside us. I think he was a little disappointed too by the sounds of things.
We've got time, Dragons. Go.
He's knocked a hole in the wall between us.
Stand now. Hold 10 metres. Wait for it. Hold. Wait. Go.
He's loud for a little fella, Matty Head, isn't he?
I think it might have
Out together.
come to the forefront at halftime too,
Yeah.
no doubt. At the halftime address, he wouldn't have been happy. He wanted much more intent. They've done that with the ball in hand. Defensively, still lacked a little in this second half. And now the big guns. Here comes Kemp down the sideline trying to.
Yeah, Duffy. The kick goes through, and the kick is too big. That was good work from Duffy and Kemp defensively. They really put the pressure on the Newcastle winger in Kanoa Gudgeon. They made him make the decision.
Some real poor defensive signs, though, for the Dragons on each side. They've been getting some joy going down the Newcastle Knights left and the Dragons right side. Isaac Thompson's been found out on a number of occasions.
Yep.
This time going to the other side of the field. Way too much space on the outside. Some desperation in defence, which was some good signs. But as you spoke about, Andy, the ball's beaten everyone.
No. It's just lost ball.
Oh, they're saying lost ball.
I'll pack it, Drew. Yeah, mate.
The Dragons are saying lost. Absolutely not. That was stripped. Jack Payne slow to his feet. Okay. Decision time. Stripped. Oh, poor ball security. Yes, it was stripped, but Paul ball security as well.
Cut, Zeke, I've got your wide contact.
Yep. Seconds locks, heads in. Heads in, just wait.
Wait, Pat.
All heads in, guys. Ball in now, 7.
So the Lawler. This time with Corey Dennis on his outside. Dennis moves into dummy half and takes a little charge of 8 or 9 metres.
6, got to lock in.
This is Glanville, jersey 17, but started at lock in place of Braden Robson, who's out missing this last game with a back injury.
Don't work him now.
Okay,
Brother Reese is the hooker for the Dragons.
23 last second.
Butterfield again, recording big numbers, the front rowers in this game. 7 is Herbert. He goes to the air. Dufty flies above the pack. Takes it nicely. There was a Dragons player felled in front of him. Still on his haunches. I think it's Toppy Torfa.
And I know I've given him a couple of raps already, but Blake Laurie, he's just come from the field now. It was his kick pressure there too on the halfback. That was a big play. Important set of 6 for the Dragons. It was still a glimmer of hope. They should hang on to the lead here now, but to put that pressure on with 31 tackles and 18 hit-ups to his name, shown some great attitude and intent right throughout this game.
Lenny Gunga.
Now, square.
Go. Nothing late.
Come on, get here.
Out to Jack Payne, and that left boot to the air. Kemp looking for number 4 and goes so close.
Let him up, square.
Oh, beautiful work, Kanoa Gudgeon. That was spectacular and so smart. 90% of his body was in goal, but because the ball in his arms hadn't touched the ground, the split second that he had to make the decision, he reached out and put the ball back into the field of play.
Yeah, great presence of mind and awareness to know where he was in the field and to keep that ball in play there.
You speak to the coaches of these young men, and they are young men in the under-20s, 17, 18, 19, 20 years of age. And most of the coaches concede that talent, physicality, body shape, it's all relatively similar. The difference between the good and the really good is the decision-making of these young men. And as young men, you know, in a football field or in the workplace or wherever, young men, because we are young men, don't always make great decisions, but the decision-making process of some of these youngsters, like we just saw from Kanoa Gudgeon, like we've seen from Matt Dufty, just separates the good from the really good.
Yeah, and it's that decision-making under fatigue as well.
Yeah,
and it really shines through. You can see at the start of the game on a number of occasions that usually they get the right option, but it's at the back end of the halves or when the game's on the line or in the key moments when you're fatigued, coming up with the right play or the right kick or holding on to that pass or not going down the short side. That separates, I think, the good from the great.
Yeah, really good point, actually, Al. Kicked just too much on it, despite the fact it was into the breeze with 3.5 minutes remaining. Been another wonderful year of Holden Cup football on Fox Sports, and we've had the pleasure of seeing so many young men debut, some moments that these young kids and their families and supporters and junior coaches will remember forever. We've seen young men move up into first grade and make a name for themselves, I guess none more so than a youngster like Nathan Cleary, who dominated the 20s and is now showing us just how talented he is in the top grade. At the end of this weekend, like in the top grade, 8 teams continue and 8 teams will say see you next season. To those 8 teams that we won't see again, it has been fabulous. You should all be very proud of your performances on and off the field. And we look forward to seeing your careers develop over the next couple of years right here on Fox Sports. The Knights into the hands of Zach Hosking on the end of some Newman and Herbert running. Starling with the footy. Nicely taken Morris there because he was looking for points. He had it in his sights, and a try here. 2 minutes from time. Big Jermaine Tanua-Brown, who earlier this year had the fan club and the signs, the whole works going up at the Hunter, and they're not here today, but they'll be delighted that the big boy's been rewarded here. First try of the year. No wonder he's smiling, Alan Tongue.
It's like he's hit the jackpot.
Isn't it? I know in these politically correct times we're probably not meant to talk about it too much, but one of the great traditions in sport is the end of season nudie run for no tries. And he's just avoided it, the big fella.
But defensively, the Dragons on their own try line, still lacking some intent and some aggression there. And I know that the game is in the bag, but some worrying signs and still plenty to work on for Matty Head and his side leading into finals football.
Newman with the kick. That he gets. 10-point game. 26-16 in favour of the Dragons. Could you put it down to, for St George Illawarra, Al, just a bad day? A day they'd rather forget, when they should have been playing for momentum and confidence and combination and so many other things, but the mindset just hasn't been there.
I think there's a number of factors. It's the style of play that Newcastle are throwing at them. It's always hard to defend against that, against a side that's got nothing to lose. 4.5-day turnaround as well. They played Monday night against Parramatta at 5 o'clock and started here at 10:30 on a Saturday morning. Yep. So that's tough as well. And I think their intent and attitude wasn't where it was needed either.
They're still playing. The siren has sounded. Referee hasn't blown time off as yet, or has he? Well, there's a little confusion here because Soper Lawless... No, it is full time. The siren sounded. I wasn't sure what the refs had done. The players didn't know either. That is it for the Knights this season. The Dragons, they go into the finals on the back of a 10-point win because the Dragons, 26, have beaten the Knights 16.